Everyone, welcome back. Today is the second episode of our annual review, best, in my opinion, products that worked for me, the ones that when I do makeup, I naturally just my hand goes to that product. So I wanted to share with you and talk about varieties of options for each element. So yesterday we talked about skincare, and today I want to take you through the step by step as I do. It's not a makeup tutorial, it's just what would you naturally use for each stage of your makeup. So today we're talking about complexion, just only face really, but starting from concealers, foundation, sculpturing, highlighting, finishing, setting powder, and blushes. I do have quite a lot of makeup, and I know that myself, but I kind of feel good about it because you don't want to use all the time the same thing. But I'm kind of quite comfortable with the variety of options I have, and I do tend to try things, and I still go back to things that I really love and I tried over years and it works and it's just perfect. Some stuff I bought, I do believe it's a good quality, but it's just not for me. Like this Estee Lauder, it's almost full. It's almost full. I don't know what to do with it. I think it's probably wrong. I picked up wrong color. For some reason they gave me just too yellow. It does look yellow. So how did they do this color match? Don't know. But anyway, it's not about it. So let's talk about good stuff, the stuff that worked for me. Certainly worked for my complexion, for my skin tone. I am naturally blonde and naturally light. My skin undertone is pinkish, but also there are things like correctors in life that not exactly don't need to be your pink, your skin tone. They're there to correct the problem area. So we talk about it later. I'm going to do a video separately about correctors and concealers, what's it for and how to choose the right one for you. So for me, at the moment I don't use correctors. When I do feel that I need to correct the color here under eyes, if it's like late evening or something, then I would use. I actually ordered 2 correctors from Bobbi Brown just recently, last night online, and when it comes, I will share with you. But for the time being, I'm using that, which is slightly pinkier than it should be really for the problem area. It's like if it's bluish purple, like areas under your eyes, then you really should go for BISQUE, that type of color. But this is not bad. This one is actually called Brighten Up. I think it's called Brightening Concealer by Benefit, which is quite good. I'm gonna put description of all the products I'm talking about. I'm gonna put it in the description bar below the video. So this is quite pigmented. For a concealer, I would say it can work as it can almost act as a corrector. So nothing wrong with it, using it as a corrector. It's a very good texture. It's not dry. It's not too wet. It's quite nice actually. It's very creamy, but it's also very pigmented. A couple of concealers that I use, but before we go to concealers again, I want to show you one of my very, very favorite things. It's very cheap. It's very little thing. It's almost like color corrector in green. It looks a bit blue there, but it's actually more green. That's for red spots. If you have some red or more pinkier area on your face that you would like to disappear, from pink, become natural. So you put the green thing over it, and it becomes. If I show you, I haven't got anything red on my hands to show you, but anyway, it kind of neutralizes it. It balances out. So if you think of putting green over red, it becomes brown. So it becomes more of your natural color. So that's one of the things. Dior have done quite good job of those. I had a little thing Actually, now I found it. I was just doing Russian video, I couldn't find it. So Dior came up with different colors for different problems. So you have 4 different ones. I would personally go for green, for redness. And it depends on what area mainly you have. So they work like concealers, correctors. Some brands don't do correctors as correctors. They do like 2-in-1 corrector, primer, even 3-in-1 corrector, primer, concealer, like this lot. So this is just natural, sort of like a primer concealer. But these things, they work. I need to do a review of that. Now I found it. I had it for about a year. So I'm going to go through those and explain what's what. I do another video. So concealer. The other 2 concealers that are really nice and work very well for me one is Dior Star, Dior of course, and quite opaque, quite well formulated, very good formula. And another one is MAC. MAC is a very, very good brand, I believe, and I think it's been underestimated. I think it's because they keep their pricing policy is very decent. They do have very good quality products, and they, for some reason, the prices aren't very high. So that's why I think because of that, it's a unique selling point almost, and I think that's why MAC counters always busy everywhere in the world, because you get superior product for very affordable price. So a MAC concealer is a superb thing. Then we move to foundations. Foundations are it's one of the things I'm totally hooked on, because I just use them all the time. I change them all the time. I try new ones. I have about 8 in my drawer now. Not necessarily all of them I love and I use. Two things I don't like. It's so dry for me. The actual formula, Estee Lauder, though it's a very good brand, and I don't like Charlotte Tilbury. It's got very good range of colors. You can choose pretty much, suits any shade, any skin tone. But I don't like, because I'm still struggling with it. Sometimes I use it, but you need a lot of powder on it. It's quite oily. For me, it's quite oily. However, if your skin is dry, Charlotte Tilbury will solve your problem, because if you use moisturizer, then you use Charlotte Tilbury, which is now nearly empty, you can see, multi-glow, I can't remember, what's it called? Wonder-Glow as a primer, and then you use this quite oily foundation. You will have a very good balance on your skin. So if you're dry skin, I recommend Charlotte Tilbury. For me, it's not an answer, so I finish this at some point, and I probably won't buy it again. The ones I like, my skin is combination skin. I have some I'm not sensitive, don't have sensitive skin anymore. I have areas where it's a little bit more oily, like T-zone, just standard T-zone, a little bit more oily, and there's some drier areas there. But skincare does a good job with this, so therefore I have to be very, very selective in terms of the foundations. So I always wanted something in the middle of Dior Star. This is slightly lighter. I had it last winter, slightly lighter than I need to, but it's Dior Star anyway. So Dior Star and Forever. Forever I never liked because it was too matte for me, too full coverage. I just didn't like myself in it. But I thought if there was something with durability and sort of, how can I put it, the coverage of Forever, at the same time consistency and the formula of Star, it would be so good. And I think they came up with this, I think it was last year, Forever Skin Glow. Forever Skin Glow is a very good foundation. You might want to make it a little bit lighter, then you can even have like a drop of primer, to mix it together, or even oil, facial oil, like I haven't got it here. like any facial oil, drop it together if it's too much. And then, but the actual formula is really, really good. So Forever Skin Glow, lovely. And I also like, my all-time favorite is Nude Air, because you know, it gives you very good appearance. Your skin looks natural, but it looks very even. Hasn't got that, it doesn't create any problem in terms of the oiliness or anything else, because it's water-based. It's really good formula. It's got something in it. It's more expensive. I think it cost about 56 or something pounds. It's more expensive than any other foundation for some reason. It's got, I think it's got some properties in it, like skincare. I think it is. I will put all descriptions. Ah, it's got serum in it. That's why. Serum. And that's why it is expensive. Lovely, lovely quality. Really, really good foundation. Lighter than Forever. I also like very much Air Flush, Dior Air Flush, which is spray. But I didn't like the actual, you know, concept of it, because you just spray it, goes everywhere on your jewelry. You have to be really, really totally just open face. Everything else has to be closed, and then you have to brush it in. So I'm not too keen on the actual container, but the foundation is superb. My most favorite of all, and Dior must forgive me for that, always, of all times, now it's been discontinued, is Guerlain Meteorites in a tube, like toothpaste, but they came up with alternative, which is water-based, very, very similar formula, and smells the same, smells divine. I bought it. It's downstairs. It's in my pack of untouched products yet, because I want to do review first and then start using them. Actually, I've been very good. I received quite a lot of Chanel, Tom Ford and Dior products, and I haven't tried them yet, because I want to try them with you guys to just to do review as I go along. So going back to foundations, when they told me they discontinued Meteorites, I came to buy. It was at the airport in Heathrow. I bought this essential. I did review of that. I think I did it in English too, but what I didn't like about it, and then I realized I wasn't using it very well. What I wasn't explained properly. It needs to be used, that specific foundation. It comes up with a brush. Brush is, I didn't buy it this time. They explained to me on Friday. I went to a guy in Guerlain, explained to me. I didn't buy it because I've got one from Dior. It's like a buffing, like that sort of brush. So you really need to sort of build it in. This foundation, it's not like that. It's not that sort of foundation where you circle around and it's like that. So if you have the same problem with this foundation, try and use it with fingers. You can't. You just need to use one of these brushes. So that's kind of brush you need for that. So bear in mind, exceptionally good quality. Guerlain are really, really good. They kind of like second after Dior for me. They are, in terms of the, you know, the quality is just outstanding. And I also have one I really like. Tom Ford is a stick. I didn't choose it. It's a consultant chosen it for me. She said 5.5 in BISQUE is my color. I kind of questioned that. It probably was because it was summertime and I had a little bit of suntan, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. 5.5 is probably a right for certain times of a year. It's good to use, it's good on the go, but also benefits from that type of brush when you apply. Next, I actually started editing this video, and then I realized I totally missed out on highlighters that go after the foundation, concealers, concealers, foundation, highlighters. So I'm just going to mention the couple I use all the time, and I use 2 or 3 versions. I mean 2 or 3 of those all on the go, always at home. One might be in a handbag, in makeup bag, and one might be in the office even. So I quite like Touche Eclat, which is traditional. My favorite is number 1. I always go with the tone of my skin, so it's pinkier than the other one is more yellow. The other one is number 2, is more often on sale. Then Dior, my favorite, absolutely favorite, is Dior Flash Luminiser. That one, this is my new. It's kind of always have to have one, because you never know when it's going to end. That's one thing about them, you just don't know. And superbly useful, versatile tool, not just for under your eyes, which we all obviously know about, but also sometimes as just a foundation for your eye makeup, and for luminizing and bringing out the parts of your face which you want to come out, like you want to be more visible. And obviously we use dark colors for sculpturing. So I'm sorry I missed out on, I knew that because I've done a video in Russian and I put it on the side, just behind here, behind my laptop, and I couldn't see them. So, and then I had a feeling I missed something. So here we go. Now it goes in into appropriate space in my video. Also wanted to mention this, which I kind of really liked first, but then I sort of stopped loving it. It's not my favorite, probably shouldn't be in this video, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because I still use it. I'm trying to use it up and I don't think I'm gonna buy it. The reason is that though the actual highlighter is very good, the actual you know, highlighter that you use is very good, it has 2 ends, okay? It's called Miracle Wand. I don't know what's so miracle about it. If you buy makeup, you won't have makeup. I don't want to have skincare in it as well, because I already done my routine. I've got serum, I've got eye cream, I've got everything on. Also, it actually has already, it might have corrector, it might have concealer, it has foundation on as well. So why would I want serum on it again? Unless it's kind of part of the deal that has to go on before you put this concealer, but others don't. So I don't see why it has to have it. But also you have half of a product which you don't really need there, but it's probably is advisable to use it. But I never know when I open it. I wish they've done them in a different color somehow. Maybe this should, whichever end is the serum, maybe they should have it white or something. So when you pick it up, and they kind of both, because you're already using it on the top of foundation and concealers, it kind of takes the color of your face, and the brush inevitably becomes sort of that colored. So you have to guess every time where is the product that you need. So I'm not too keen on that. The actual product is nice, but price-wise, very compatible to Dior Flash, and I would go with Dior Flash Luminiser anytime over anything. So that's my view. I just thought I mentioned this because it's kind of in use, but it's not my faves and must-have anyway. So there we go. Now it's gonna go into appropriate part of the video, and sorry I missed it in the first place. Okay. We go towards sculpturing and highlighting. Is a kind of part of a process. One thing I want to mention is sculpturing and highlighting. I did video more than a year ago, a couple of years ago. Tom Ford highlighter, sculpturing and highlight, I can't remember what's it called. Dior, basically. This is quite dark brown. So, and this is very, very well light reflecting. It's beautiful actually. In combination, all right, you don't mix it, but you use that on where things you want to go in, like sculpture in there, and removing maybe some excess of some stuff here. And the light you use on where what you want to bring out. So before doing foundation, we use this before using foundation, and then with foundation, with a brush like that, then you put foundation over. Have a look at Wayne Gore's video about it, how to really apply foundation, I think it's called. He explains that, and this is Wayne Gore's brush, which got like a two layer of things where you can use this light coverage, and this one you can buff in and you can really do quite sort of build poke my eye. Built it in like that. I'm not explaining very well because I'm not actually, it's not video about that. It's just to say that this is a really, really good product for sculpturing and highlighting, but it needs to be used before applying foundation. And when with foundation, it builds around, and then you kind of like add dimensions to your face. So because your face is not flat, it's like not like a piece of paper. It's got ins, outs, all over. I've got a fly flying. I can't understand. Anyway, so that's about this. But generally, I use a couple of products I really like. I have this MAC. It's called Harmony. It's really. I don't know if you call it blusher. It's not a blush. I can't say anything now because it probably is supposed to be a blusher, but it's like a natural shadow, color of a shadow, which is sort of like grayish, beige almost of your face. So if you shadow under your face, it's that color, you know. So it's quite clever in this respect, and it's good for building up the structure on your face. So that's that one with the right brush, of course. I was hoping to find a brush and show you. I can't. I just can't see it at the moment. It's a flat one. It's a flat one for building up lines. Another good product, it really is a good product, is Charlotte Tilbury Bronze&Glow. I think it's FilmStar something. FilmStar Bronze&Glow. So glow part has now disappeared because I glow all the time. Obviously, I'm kind of used it up. This is bronzing. It's not so much bronzing. It's more of a. It's really more for sculpturing. But you can use it as a bronzer all over with a big round brush as a bronzer. However, the main thing I use it, and she uses it as well for sculpturing. So using it from this part of the ear down to where your eye ends here. So like that. Have a look at Wayne Gosse's videos about this. It's very good. And another one, I really love this product, is Givenchy. I don't have much Givenchy. I don't use them quite actually, but I bought that. I can't even remember when. It's quite old. So it had like shimmering part, which is now gone here, but this is very good for sculpturing as well. And that type of brush, that type of narrow brush for sculpturing is that. Here you go, and then you blend it with another brush. So these are for sculpturing and highlighting. Now highlighters themselves, highlighting powders, totally love them. I've got two old ones which I'm going to talk about, and then there's two new Christian Dior ones which I actually didn't need, but I just love it, and they're slightly different colors anyway. So the first one is Chanel. I think I did review of that as well. I think it's called Rosy Gold. It's Rosy Gold. It comes with a brush like that. Comes with a brush. The color it's got that shine. It's got really lovely. It's like rose gold, like if you wear any, a rose gold ring or earrings, that's how it looks, exactly how it looks. So that is rose gold. It's got very pleasant, warm rose gold reflection. And the other one is slightly pinkier, is Christian Dior. I think it's called, I will put all the numbers and names in the description. It's number 251. It's like that. It's slightly cooler, cooler pink. And color is of that. It's got a little bit cooler reflection of that highlighting part. Oh gosh, covered with highlighters. If I could, I would just put it all over me and I would just highlight myself. So those are highlighters. Now we talk about briefly about powders. Powders, there are setting powders and finishing powders. You probably know. A lot of people don't know what it means and why you need setting powder and why you need finishing powder. So you don't necessarily need it, but there are slightly different purposes. So setting powder is used to set your foundation, to set your makeup. So if you have, for example, if you use corrector, then you use concealer, use foundation. So you've got quite a lot of liquid products on you. So stop them from moving around. You use setting powder. Setting powder is less setting. So if you have duos like that, this is Bare Minerals. Is absolutely brilliant product. It really is a good product. So if you use say in tools, so one is setting powder would be less setting, less sort of it's still very smooth, very finely milled, this one. So it would be it won't be reflecting much, but it still does slightly. So it's setting. Finishing powder normally is more sort of satin. It's got satin sort of sheen to it a little bit, if it makes sense. So so how can I show you? I put a lot there. I put a lot, but you can see it's got a little bit of reflection there. So there is a little difference between them two. A lot of times people just get away with just normal setting powder and that's it, and then you just use highlighters, blushes, and that's it. So nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. For perfect makeup, would do probably finishing setting powder first and then finishing powder at the very end. Also on the powder part, two powders. I just love these Guerlain Meteorites. I just even smelling. It's so lovely. A very good way of finishing makeup. It's got a tiny little you know, it's not glitter, it's like that shimmer, very subtle, very elegant. It's not overwhelming. It's not like stupid. It's not really you know, standing out, but it's got a very subtle, very nice. So this is paper box. It's so old. It's still, you know, they used to do them from cardboard, so that's cardboard thing. Still smells lovely. With more pinky balls and, you know, all of that. I can just wear it all the time. I just sometimes I've got one at work actually with the other one. I just open it and sometimes smell it. It's just so lovely. So this one is much older. This one, God knows, I don't know how many years. 8 years maybe. Quite a few. And this one is new-ish, couple of years old. I think it's a couple of years old. They all say, oh, they expire in 2 years, and you know what? You watch that one, it was so old, and I still use it. It's absolutely beautiful. So this was, I think, holiday collection 2 years ago. I think it was 2017. I might be wrong. So it's got a little bit more bronzing ingredients in there, bronzing balls, and it's just paradise. You know, even if you have very quick makeup, very quick, no time for this, for that, for highlighter, for setting powder, finishing powder, go away, just haven't got time. This, just a little bit of that, just perfect. So highly recommend those powders. And then finally moving towards blushes. I didn't buy any blushes because I've got 3 here and 1 at work. Chanel Classic Rose, that rose like a ball, you know, that one. But here I've got 3 I use quite, I could use every day. I quite like that, a very classic, very lovely, very little reflection, very little, almost none. That Christian Dior, which I think it's called Rose Glacier or something. So that is Dior, which is swatches like that. It's just, you know, I've got too many highlighters there now, which is just a standard, typical, very classic pink blush. It's completely dark outside now, so it's electric light, obviously. The other one is I think I got it in the present. I think it was, I don't think I bought it actually by Lancome. Or maybe I bought it. It's very sort of bright pink, almost fuchsia, but it's not. They built up. They don't look so wild on your cheeks. So that is, I'll probably just do it like that. So it gives you like, it's like a cool. Oh, done too much on this on the bottom. Just a cool pink, cool tone. And the last one, this was a gift because I'm VIP in Dior. If I'm not VIP, I don't know who else is. I definitely am because I think I've got the old product. They giving you presents from time to time. They send you a card, and it's normally either birthday or something else. So a couple of times a year I get them, and this is, that was in a present a couple of years ago now. It's very nice, peachy, warm blusher, which is again classic. So I'm just gonna make it there, show you. Very sort of classic blush for maybe slightly warmer makeup. You can't really get good perception of that because you really need to try it on your. You see, it's sort of like warmer, very gentle peach. So I'm done with blushes. I think I don't need them for about, I don't know, another month. A few years now, definitely. They last forever. I remember the blusher I have at work, which is Chanel pink one. It smells like rose. It's lovely too. I bought it when I first time went to Ireland on a business trip, which was about 4 years ago, five years ago now, and I still have it. I mean, it's going to last another few years maybe. So this is my, I think that's it. One more. A Charlotte Tilbury Beach Stick. I bought it, must have been a couple of years ago now. Don't use much of it. It's comfortable. It's good in the bag. It's good to take with you, you know, in a handbag somewhere. Good for holidays, certainly. It's more of a sort of like a peachy bronze. It's nice, warm color. And the way to use it, I did a video on that, but just to remind you, the way to use it, you just put it like that. You dab two parts of your hand of that where your bone is, and then you know where your bones are here, facial bones, cheekbones. Just do it like that. So I've got so much product on me now, different ones, and but that's the way to use it basically. And that was on Charlotte Tilbury Masterclass. I've learned a couple of years ago. I did a video about it, but I don't remember if I did actually that in English as well. So I must get myself in order, and I really need to do videos. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Is kind of the way the Russian-speaking audience built up over a period of time. Now my channel has been around for 3.5 years now, and because I started doing videos, actually I started it in English as makeup review, and then people started asking questions, and then I ended up talking about my life in the UK. I moved to the UK 21 years ago now, how I developed my career, what I become, how I, you know, a lot of things about life in the UK, and naturally it's about, it's in Russian language. For those who are either living here not long ago, somebody just curious, somebody never lived here, never probably will be, never visited, somebody people just interested. So that's how it built up, and I built up audience, Russian speakers, quicker than English ones, and I kind of ignored the things I can talk about in English because no point, apart from makeup. So not all my videos, a lot of videos are not about makeup. That's how it just happened. So I apologize for ignoring you for a while, but I think I will finish this, certainly finish my review in English as well. We now have one left of my favorites, is for eyes, products for eyes and lips, and then I will do new ones, and then we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for staying with me. It's now been 33 minutes. It's quite a long video. Thanks for staying with me. And so before New Year, I will do the last part, eyes and lips, and then I see you then.